Nice little area. Cool. Drive an hour and a half to get here, and it's 2 o'clock. He said to be here at 2 o'clock. It's 2:15 and nothing. Does he understand how the traffic is in Miami? I mean, incredible. I should. No way. You better bring some rum or something. I mean, just, it's crazy. No way. I ain't doing this again.
Welcome to Connected by Water.
Pleasure to be here.
Yeah, man. So, how was the drive up from Miami?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad. Well, especially at this time. You know, it could be pretty bad depending on the time.
Right.
So, it was just perfect timing.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, during the day is not so bad.
Yeah.
You know, take about a half hour, 45 minutes or whatever like that. But you're there. How often are you in Miami and how often are you in Guatemala?
Well, depending on the season.
Yeah.
So, I would say, you know, I could travel anywhere between once a week, twice, or 3 times a month.
Yeah.
But depending on the season, you're you know, once we get into the summer,
Right.
I'll be there less time.
Okay.
Yeah, because we're doing a lot of stuff for the boats and, you know, just upgrading a lot of stuff around the resort.
Is that the rainy season down there too, like in Costa
know
Rica?
what? You know,
if they even have one, I don't, you know.
People call it rainy season,
Doesn't really rain that
but
much anyway.
you know, it rains more at night. By the
Okay.
time you're at night, you're already at the resort, hanging out.
Right.
You're just relaxing for the night. Because majority of the time, during that time, if you, like early in the morning, you might get a shower.
Okay.
But then it just tapers off, and it's like here. You know how it is. It's just you'll be in the Florida Keys, and next thing you know, and clears up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So you're not there a lot in the summer.
No.
Yeah.
No.
So the season's primarily
Our peak season runs from October through May, I would say the early part of June,
okay.
I would say. But I went this year right after ICAST, and I wanted to do a little research. I wanted to just check out the waters because, of course, everybody's like, well, during that time, it's not going to be too much sailfish. Well, I was impressed. I mean, this year has been really great. I mean, it's been, we were having double-digit releases in July.
Nice.
And, of course, that's not, also you got to factor in all the, you know, Dorado, mahi-mahi, of course. Then you got also yellowfin tuna. Yellowfin tuna bite this year was amazing.
Yeah.
It's been amazing. We're not known for huge yellowfin tuna compared to, like, say, Panama.
Mm-hmm.
But this year we saw, I mean, our biggest we caught this year was 167 pounds.
It's a good yellowfin tuna.
Yes. And then a lot of the, of course, you know, you get your cookie cutter ones between the 40, 60 pounders.
Still a nice yellowfin
Of
tuna.
course. But then again, we did get a lot of 100 pounders and a lot of 150 pounders. So we're not complaining.
Yeah.
We're not complaining.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
That's cool. I remember you guys caught one when George came down there for the show
Yes.
for Unfathomed.
Yeah, I mean, George, great freaking man.
George is awesome.
He is awesome. He's
a
awesome.
good dude, man.
Yes, he is. And I congratulate him for having a great show.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
He's worked real hard on that.
Yes, he has. Yeah, he wanted to one of his producers from the guys that video it filming. They were like, "Well, we need to get him out of his comfort zone." Oh,
Right.
trust me, he was out of his comfort zone for
Yeah.
a while, you know. So he's actually going to come back. I think in January we're going to do another filming part. Yeah.
Oh, very
part
cool.
2, yeah. So this time you know, maybe a little surprise for him.
Okay.
We might go to Tikal. It's in, you know, where we have our ancient ruins. And maybe do something with, you know, out in the middle of the jungle.
Yeah.
You know, do bonfires or maybe do some type of ritual or something, you know, something that for sure will be out of his comfort zone.
Well, he's got the jiu-jitsu thing going on now, so he might be all into it.
For sure.
Guatemala's got a lot to offer.
It does.
I mean, you know, some parts of the country might get a bad reputation, but where you guys are at, You're pretty legit. I mean, it's a pretty good location to come to, and everything going on with the coffee makers and the volcanoes and stuff like that.
And rum.
And rum. That's
Yes,
right. You
rum.
can't forget the rum.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with rum there. They're actually, that's what the Zacapa rum is from. That's, I mean, of course, you get a lot of coffee plantations. You got the town of Antigua, cobblestone streets. I mean, we're talking about from the 1800s. We got a lot of, again, a lot of the Mayan culture that's been still around for, I mean, they have up to, maybe I'm wrong for how many, I think some of these, the Mayan people, I think they speak even like 20-something languages or something crazy like that.
Really?
Yeah.
Like way back stuff.
Yes, correct. And of course, you still have the cities, and I mean, you still got, a lot of high-end, shops like we have here in Florida, or anywhere in the United States. But it's there's so much to see and do. Because of course we get a lot of people that call and say, "Hey, well, you know what? I want to go fishing, but I want to bring my wife. What is there to do? I could take my kid fishing, but what is my wife going to do? I mean, I don't just want to be at the resort. Well, at the resort, of course, we have, of course, you could do massages, you could do a lot of stuff. You can hang around the pool, you could, do, check out the coast, the beach, a lot of cool stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty much like a 5-star setup, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And, they could, the wives can actually, and my wife has done it, and a lot of friends have come down, basically, just go to town of Antigua. You can spend the whole day in Antigua. There's a lot of shops, a lot of great restaurants. I mean, you can still see a lot of ancient history there. You could just, I mean, again, there's a lot of churches, a lot of people, it's a really nice place to, sightseeing, picturesque. And not only that, you're surrounded by 3 volcanoes. And we're talking about 2 active volcanoes. And that's another thing is people go and they want to do the volcano excursion. Well, the cool thing about that is, like I did with George, I took him there for a sunset, at sunset, so he could see everything in the volcano. Well, there he saw the lava. He saw, I mean, there's just everything going on.
That part of the show was cool.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Another thing is people can actually go up there and roast marshmallows. I mean, that.
Really?
Yeah. So you're actually in an active volcano roasting marshmallows. I mean, it's pretty cool how things
I remember when we were watching the show at George's house for his opening party that he had. And the first thing, all I could think of was I'm like looking at my wife and we got to get down there. That place just looks super cool.
Well, you're going to go pretty soon though.
Gonna go.
Yes.
Yep. Pretty soon. So I'm all amped up about it. So yeah. We don't, having a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old at home, we don't get out much.
Well, trust me, I know what that feels like. But thank God I got a great mom, and and she'll take care of them. So
yeah, cool. So take me back a little bit with the start of Pacific Fins, because I know that place has kind of evolved.
Yes.
Very quickly, actually, and especially in the past few years. So take me through the genesis of that and how it became such a great resort, such the great resort that it is today.
The resort was before called Fins and Feathers. The resort was called Fins and Feathers before. Niels Erickson, the owner now, he acquired it in 2006. And like anything else, you come in, you're trying to freshen it up and do your own theme, and you're trying to change it a little bit. I mean, it's not like a lot has changed, It's still a great place, and you're on the water. You're literally, you could basically come out of your room and just trip over and get and land on top of the deck of a boat. I mean, it's just incredible how it is. And that, that's comfort was what people love, because, you don't have to basically, you got to go so far. You don't have to, get on a car and just go down to the marina. We do, depending on the tides, we sometimes got to do that though. But the majority of the time, the boats are stationed behind the resort. So it's just perfect. You actually get up in the morning, you have breakfast, you get on the boat, you're all day long fishing, you come back, and literally you walk off the boat and you land on the pool.
Like right in your room, right in the pool.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That's
easy living, man.
Yes. You have everything where the little hors d'oeuvres, appetizer, cocktails waiting for you. I don't want to spoil it for you, but
No. It's all good. It's all good. I mean, I saw you serving sushi on the boat to George. I was like, yeah, there you go.
yeah, and that's another thing that but people doesn't know. Again, there's so much to do, and not only I mean the service we give our clients is you're out in the water. You know, in the morning, mid morning, you got little snacks with fruits. You know, comes lunchtime, we cook for you on the boat. You know, if you caught a mahi or yellowfin tuna or anything like that, they're going to cook it for you.
That's nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's
That's
just
very
good
nice
for
of
you,
you.
Chris. So, so at the same time, you know, we ask the client, how would you like this? Or sometimes, you know, because we'll do a ceviche right on the boat. You know, we'll do that. We'll do sashimi right on the boat. You know, and people are like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't know that. I mean, once they do that, and it's like, what am I missing? I got to go back home and get boxed lunch? No, I can't do this anymore.
Especially that yellowfin tuna.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite.
And yeah, again, and the majority of times when I go down there, a lot of the guests is like, well, Ozzy, can you host our group or something? You know, come down. And you know, it's incredible. I love to see the emotions and everything that the people have, how they're just somewhere else. I mean, you're actually fishing surrounded by active volcanoes in your backdrop.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, you're catching sailfish all day long, marlin, dorado, yellowfin tuna. You go inshore, you get rooster fish. I mean, it's just been phenomenal.
Yeah, there's a pretty good rooster fishery there, right?
Yes, it's been, our rooster fish is something that, you know, not everybody has advertised. But for, I would say about a year and a half, little by little, we've been actually just researching it more, you know, because it's not like it, you know, because if people think of rooster fish, you'll think about Costa Rica, you know,
Right.
or Mexico or, you know, Panama or something like that.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we don't have them as big, you know, those 60, 70 pounders, 80 pounders, but we do make up in quantities. I mean, I won't lie to you. That trip that I did in summer, on July, I'm sorry, it was, we raised 52
roosters?
roosters.
Wow.
And we had like 38 bites, I think it was.
Catching any on fly?
No, but next time we'll.
Yeah.
Next time I will. That's been
Are you pulling poppers?
actually just like self-fishing, like teasers. They come to the teasers red hot. It's incredible.
Really?
Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's the number one fish on my bucket list.
Rooster?
Yeah.
I still haven't caught one. Last time I was in Costa Rica, I went out with some old dude on a pontoon, and we were just yanking poppers. Like he was like on a slow troll like all day long. And we didn't get one.
But it's amazing how, you know, because that was the first time I ever done that type of fishing for rooster. You know, you're typically, you know how it is, like you said, the poppers, live bait, you know,
Yeah.
around rocks and stuff like that. No, you're here, you're on the beach. You know, so you're actually seeing big waves.
Are you catching them right off the beach?
Oh, you're
Right
catching them from the surf.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
exactly
nice.
what I want to do.
So basically, you're slow trolling the, you know, ballyhoo,
Right.
and they come to the teasers, and it's the same method as you would do sailfish. It's just amazing. I mean,
Wow, so you could tease them up and then throw a fly.
correct. I mean,
Oh,
for
nice.
you to see, I mean, it again, I go back because that's the first time I ever did that type of fishing. For me to do how they come to the teasers, I mean,
Yeah.
just with a rooster just all lit up, I mean, it's just amazing.
Yeah. It's like I can't even talk yet. I'm like, I want to, that's when we're down there, I want to make it a point to do that.
That's
At
no
least
problem.
for a half day.
That's no problem.
I
At all.
mean, just be like, yeah.
And
let's hit
again,
it.
you don't have to go that far. It's down the block. I mean, I'll call it down the block, but you know, down the surf. I mean, right off the beach.
Yeah.
And you're good. I mean, there's people that want to do offshore fishing all day long, and sometimes they will say, you know what, Ozzy, I want to do 2 days fishing offshore, and I'll do the last day inshore fishing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so
Yeah, the Cuberas there too. Or
there
not-
is,
not so much- not so much?
but it's not something that, because our topography is different compared to other places. You know, we don't have rocky bottoms. You know, majority of our bottoms is sandy.
Oh, all right. So it's
Yeah.
mostly.
Hard
So you
ball.
probably get like a good surf break there.
Yeah, yes, we do.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that surf.
Yeah.
So I mean, especially the waves that I saw last time I was there. When I saw that, I was like, "Whoa, pretty impressive."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's something that there is inshore fishing, there's going to be snappers and stuff like that because that's what we do serve also at the resort. But it's not the rocky bottoms that you're used to seeing, further, down like Costa Rica, Panama, sort of those places. Yeah.
How is it when you go down there? I mean, how is it? I know you talked about they got stores just like we do here and everything like that. But when you're there, I mean, how isolated do you feel when you're at the resort? Like as far as like the world washing away kind of thing, or is it more like more citified where you're at? Or I mean, is it you're more part of like a fabric of the community there?
Yes, you are because you're on the coast. The thing of the coast is like you can literally. And I'll be honest, I've, in the beginning, when I was invited to go to Guatemala, because of Guatemala, if like anything else, everybody thinks, well, you know what, it's, you got to be careful, stuff like that. 2012, that was the first time I was invited to go to Guatemala. And of course, like anything else, you have a conversation with your wife and like, babe, I mean, Guatemala Tourism invited me to go to Guatemala. I mean, what should I do? She's like, babe, go. But like anything else, all the stuff you hear, not the see, but the stuff you hear, it's like, well, but you know what? I decided, let me go. From that day on, once I set foot in that country, it's my second home.
Yeah.
It's been phenomenal. I mean, it's the people. And going back to your question, I mean, you're on the coast. The people of the coast, I mean, you can literally walk down the street and people have their doors open to invite you in, food, drinks, whatever you want. It's not what you hear, It's not a place that, oh, my God, the gang. No.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. For me, and I could say that because I'm a witness and I do this, and this is what I, again, this is what I do. I go there. And I get asked a lot, of course, when anybody's doing any type of, reservation. It's like, Ozzy, how is it over there? Oh, this thing with the caravan. That's not our country.
Right.
That's a neighboring country's trying to get through in order to get to Mexico and everything else. We're just, hey, we don't want to deal with that stuff. Let them, if they have to go through, But like anything else, it's just politics, man.
Right.
It's not what you think. I've been through some pretty bad areas, like any other country would. Look at us here, Chicago. Well, no, correct. No, I want to say Miami.
No, I'm just kidding. I had to give you a little jab.
Yeah, that's okay. But you could go anywhere. You could be in an alley and get mugged.
Right.
I've been through pretty. I mean, because remember, it's a third world country, like anything else. It's poor. You go to their high-end places, like if you're in Fifth Avenue in New York City, or like anything else, you have your poor areas. And I've walked through the poor areas.
Yeah.
Not even a scare, Dennis. Nothing.
That's cool. I think it's important for people to understand and know that, because why are you going to deprive yourself of potentially could be the trip of your life if you're going to let, something that might not be true, stop you from go there. So
correct. Because
it's a phenomenal resort, it's a phenomenal product. And, that shouldn't even be, probably on your head. So,
well, this says it all. More than 90% of our clientele is repeat clientele.
Oh, that's great.
So it's like once you go there, you're family. And it's like, I want to go again. I mean, we have a client that is going to go next month. It's going to be his 27th time.
27 times?
Yeah.
It's a lot of sailfish.
But it's not just that. Like, again, that's what I'm saying. It's not just that.
Right.
Fishing, yes, you know what, is a majority of it. Because, of course, people just love the numbers and just being out there, the calm weather. And that's another thing. It's glass. Majority of the time is glass. You know how we go fishing all the time here.
The conditions are always flat, pretty much. Yeah.
So, for the people that say, well, they get seasick, you know what, Guatemala is your perfect spot. So. My
wife's going to like hearing that. Yeah.
And
she likes when it's calm.
Not only that, you have your comfortable boats, you have AC, you're there, you calm waters, and you're getting all that many bites a day. Doesn't get any better.
That's great. So it's cool. Like you're working here, you can work in both places.
Yeah, because our main office, our headquarters, it's in Miami. So the majority of the time, before like anything else, I go down there and have, yearly meetings with all the captains and crews and staff of the resort. There's a lot of things that I oversee. And of course, like anything else, it's just with Niels Erickson, the owner. I could talk about this person wow, what a guy.
Yeah.
Once you meet him, you'll fall in love with him. He's an amazing individual.
Yeah, I can't wait to meet him. Actually,
He's-
how many times you spoke good things about him? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got to meet this guy.
Yeah, he's again as he is. He doesn't need to actually need a resort because he's really well off. I mean, he's in the pharmaceutical business. I think he has over 100 something pharmacies. It's like having Walgreens, and basically, but his passion, his baby is Pacific Fence.
That's
It's like
great.
anything else, is your place that you just go and relax, just forget about everything. And he's also a diehard fisherman. He loves fishing. He competes a lot, and not only that, he's actually big into Ironman. So he's yes.
I
Everything.
mean, the competition or the character?
No, he's a competition.
Okay.
He's actually.
I'm like,
that's-
I like Iron Man too. That's so good. I got to meet this guy.
No, but he is. No, but he's a person that really loves his country,
Right.
loves to take care of the fishery, and he just majority of the time he's so busy. I don't even know how sometimes he gets out of it, because he's actually right now going to go. Actually, we're having this conversation where he's actually on the way to Atlantic City to run the Ironman and to do the whole triathlon. there.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't. That's tough.
I don't know how he does it. I mean,
I had to move. So I had to move a couch from one. Someone gave me a couch. They were moving out. They're like, hey, you want our couch? It's our new couch we have it there. I'm like, yeah, I'll take it. So it was like Tuesday morning, and then so I'm helping them move the couch, and I'm like walking backwards like a defensive back. Like they run
Correct.
backwards like that. It must have gone like 40 feet. And I'm like, I gotta stop, man.
no,
My calves are burning up. I can't even
no,
imagine doing an Ironman.
that's crazy. And the funny thing is when I'm down there, I see him do this a lot. And when he's at the resort, he'll get on his bike and maybe an hour plus on the bike.
Yeah, those guys are animals.
And not only that, then after he's done there, well, you know what? He jumps in the canal and he swims, I don't know how many miles back and forth. And then he runs, comes back, hangs out. I mean, I don't know how he does
Does
it.
he do it every day?
Majority of the time, when I do my conversations with him in the morning, or he will go train in the pool early in the morning. That's another thing. He also doesn't even sleep. I mean, he is a true Iron Man, I would say.
Yeah, rare breed.
Correct.
Like this,
Yeah.
there's guys like that are just like wired like that. And I don't. They're like their own species. Those people. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
I get it. I wish I could, but I can't.
I can't even run 3 miles. I mean, there's no way I could do it.
Yeah, like even like when I was in the best shape of my life in high school, at one point I played 4 sports like year round, and that but I could put myself in that position still. Like there's no way I'd even touch getting close to what those guys do. And most of the guys that do Ironman are not young. They're they're like our age, and it's like I can't. What?
Correct.
You work out?
I do.
Yeah,
I
don't.
But the thing is like anything else, you got to work on your cardio, and he has no issues with that. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just, because the places he does. I mean, he does. I think he did. Of course, he does Atlantic City. He did Hawaii.
The
Ironman in Hawaii. That's another big one. Of course, you got to go up and down a bunch of hills and stuff. He also did that one. This is the one that people take. He's crazy. He did Escape from Alcatraz. That's what they call that.
What's that?
Basically, you got to swim from
Oh,
Alcatraz.
in that cold water
Yes.
with all the sharks.
Well,
That's what the Clint Eastwood movie. That's
Funny
what
thing
the
is-
sharks will eat you.
he wasn't not so worried about the sharks as he is the cold water.
Right.
Because from what he told me, the training was, they say for do it 2 or 3 months, take cold showers. That really didn't help. He told me it didn't really help because you're not in a dry suit, but you're in your wetsuit. You're going to try to be as thick as you can. Maybe 3-4 millimeter. I forgot what it was, and it's still cold. But
Really?
yeah. But still, you got to go through all that current. I mean, it's impressive. I mean, I gotta give it to him. It's impressive.
Yeah, I've been there in that environment and with at the Golden Gate Bridge, one time with a friend of mine, and it's cold water. But you're always thinking about it because it's got a reputation for great whites and all this stuff like that. But I mean, I guess
When is your turn?
Yeah, you can have it. The worst place for shark attacks in the world is right here.
Correct.
But I don't know. That's cool, man. Iron Man. No way. Sorry. Never gonna happen.
No, correct.
Like people always say never say never. I'm saying never.
I mean, I might. I know he's been pressuring me to do one of those.
Really?
I might just do a baby one.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're gonna do it?
We'll see. We'll see. I might. And you never know. You never know.
I mean, it's the running that would get
How about
me.
we do it together? How about that?
Yeah, we'll do it.
Okay.
I'll
there
do
you
it.
go.
Like 1 mile of this, 1 mile of bicycle, like 100 yards of running, and then
No, that's
and then what? And I'll do 2 laps in the pool. Let's see who can do that the fastest. I think by the time I get to the pool, I'm just gonna like grab a drink,
Yeah.
like hang out.
No way.
That's my speed. I'm built for comfort, not speed. So yeah. So it's cool though. You've been being able to work in Miami
Yeah.
and work and going to Guatemala. And I think the interesting thing about that too is that right there tells you that it's completely caters to like an American crowd.
Yes.
You know, being that their corporate office is in Miami.
Correct. And,
Yeah.
and again, we have clients from all over the world. You know, we've been seeing quite a few more Russians.
Really?
Yeah. Of course, we got Brazil, we got Puerto Rico, we have, of course, a lot from the United States. You name it. I mean, it's been throughout Central America. A lot of people go through there. Of course, it's easy for them. But yeah, internationally, I mean, it just there's a lot of people from all over the place and go there.
Yeah. You get to fish a lot out there yourself, or you mostly?
I try
Working.
to. I try to. The majority of the time is just, just lay back and just let when I'm with a guest and stuff like that, let them do their thing. It might take pictures and stuff like that.
Right.
But, of course, there's quite a few things. Of course, if I have to, talk to the captains and crews and stuff, little meetings here and there, you got to take care of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, once in a while you want to just go out there and just try to be a little competitive, with some of the mates and stuff like that, or even with Niels, or it's fun. Yeah,
You fished all over though.
Yes, I've
Right?
been
I mean-
quite a few places already. Yes.
I mean, all over the place.
Yeah.
But what's you got some big bluefin tuna coming up.
I do. At
Right.
the end of the month, I'm actually going to go up to PEI, and of course, everybody knows that's big giant bluefin tuna country. Their
The
season,
land of giants.
yes, their season is real small. I would say mid-July, late July to like October. So far, my biggest so far is 900 pounds. That's on the chair. Stand up that I think I will never do again. What's 850?
Wow.
Yes. I mean, I didn't know
You've caught a bluefin stand up at 850?
850, and I got pictures and videos, and I also have Doug, the owner of King
All right,
Selfish
we're going
Monster.
to roll all that right about now.
And he is. We were taking turns. We went one. I think it was like 3 years ago. We traveled together up there to Tony's Tuna Fishing. Tony McDonald and his brother Buck Bradley McDonald. The nicest people you're meeting. I mean, it's amazing. You have to take one of these trips with me. I mean, you'll never meet.
Let's go. I've been talking about how long we've been talking about this, John. Like going
Since
yeah.
podcast 3.
Since podcast 3.
Jimmy,
Yeah, when
we're
Jimmy
still
came on,
waiting.
that's right. Then it got
Well, there you go.
That could be stuck in my head. Like, yeah, I got to do that.
Let's do it, baby.
Hell yeah.
And going back, I mean, like I said, we were taking turns, and we first fought our fish on the chair. Big fish was in the 800s and 7-somethings. And then day 2 came around. Of course, like anything else, you wake up in the morning, you're having breakfast, and you're having this conversation with Doug, and you're like, hey, are we going to do any stand-up today? So I guess, of course, I don't care who you are. You're kind of a little nervous because it's intimidating. You're strapped on to a train, so to say.
Right.
Of course,
That's no slouch of a fish.
we're talking about, I mean, my fish was,
That's a Volkswagen.
of course, that's what it is, a Volkswagen Beetle next to the boat. Literally. I mean, it's impressive. So, I said, let's do it. What the heck? So he saw me get on and fight. For the first 20 minutes, you're high-fiving and you're enjoying yourselves, and you're wearing, you're all suited up because it's getting kind of cool up there that time of year. And by when that 30-minute mark, 40-minute mark started kicking in, I mean, you don't know if
Start
you're
shaking your hands.
forget about that.
Yeah.
You don't know if mind you, you're strapped on. You can't take nothing off. You can't take off your jacket because you're actually burning. You're getting you're worked up inside. Your body temperature goes up. You can't take off your jacket. You can't do nothing, and it gets to the point that I'm asking Doug, hey Doug, okay, I took off my hat, see if at least somebody he could come out,
right? Yeah,
and all of a sudden take off my hat. I'm trying to unzip my jacket. And as I unzip my jacket, there's so much I can do. I can't take it off because I'm already strapped on. No. And then there was this zippers on the side of the jacket. I won't lie to you, Dennis. Literally almost fumes were coming out because I was burning.
How cold is it in the air?
Well, for us South Florida guys, I mean, we're talking about, we're in the low 50s.
Yeah, see, I'm going.
Correct. But these guys, these guys were in shorts and T-shirts. Of course, they're already,
Yeah.
So once everything was said, when everything was done, now mind you, your legs are like Gumby. I mean, you don't know what to do. I mean, you're like, so we got to the point that I don't know if I was gonna cry, if I was gonna, it was crazy.
Did it have a kill tag for that fish?
No, we didn't kill that.
So you let it go.
Yeah, we do a lot. Of course, we do the measurements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But funny thing is then once I sat down, I'm like, Doug, it's your turn. He's like, F that. I saw what you went through. I ain't doing that. So we're actually we're gonna go now at the end of the month, and I'm gonna try to go after the grander. Not on stand up,
right? Yeah.
And he might want to do something to maybe do. He needs to actually do a mount, 1,000+ pound fish to mount something like that.
Wow.
So, but yeah, it's like anything else. It's fun up there. Great scenery. If you want to really, those are tackle testers.
Count me in.
Awesome.
No, man, you kidding me? I've been dying to do it.
Awesome. I mean, it's just, again, it's something that there's things in life that I've seen fishing, and a lot of stuff where like impresses you. You're like, oh my God, I've been here, done that. I've done a lot of cool stuff in my life, and I was gone with the live a great story. That's my thing, and then seeing a lot of cool things in Guatemala. Seeing 2 or 3 blues behind the transom, and you don't know who to pitch the bait to or stuff like that.
The big one.
Yeah, but again, it's impressive. I mean, the things again, I go back to the things I've done and I've seen. But to see a monster of a fish, I mean, Ernest Hemingway called it the king of all fish, and I agree with that.
Yeah.
To see behemoth type, I mean, we're talking, like you said, a car. It's a car next to the boat, man. And it's not one thing is, and another thing is the one thing that is going for you is that the deepest that you'll fish there is about 100 feet. If it would have been 1,000 pound, I mean, not 1,000 pound, 1,000 feet or more, there's no way you're going to bring that thing up.
Right.
I don't care who you are. You're not going to bring that up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just because the runs, actually, you're fishing this you are at 60+ pounds of drag.
Right.
I mean, that says it all.
Wow.
I mean, it's a tug of war.
Yeah. Hope you're not doing anything for the next 2 weeks.
Like I tell everybody, you need to start working out.
Yeah.
Because it's a workout.
Oh, see, that's how this is all making sense to me now.
There you go. Anything's
It's
happening for a
all
reason.
making sense to me now, Ozzy. This is your way to get me in the gym, to get rid of the dad belly.
There you go.
To get the gun show going.
Oh, trust me, you're gonna know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start doing push-ups at least before the shower every morning.
Well, I think you're gonna be doing a little of everything.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
You have a second floor house or no?
No.
Oh, okay. If not, was it start going up and down the stairway because you're gonna
No,
need it.
but we got stairs here.
There you go.
Maybe I'll start riding my bike to the studio every morning. I'm about a 10-minute drive to the studio, so I can ride the bike.
There you go.
I can ride the bike every morning.
Might need to do a little more than that though.
Listen. I say
But you
this
could
to Liz.
start there.
I said this to Liz. I said we got to turn the Acadia in at the end of October. All right, and we got my truck. She loves my truck, so I'm like, oh, you can have my truck. We're gonna go down to one car, and I'm just gonna drive. I'm gonna ride the bike into the studio every day.
There you go.
I've never seen her laugh so hard at me. She knows me too well. She's like, yeah. She goes, you're going to do that for 2 days, and then that's it. It's going to be the end of it.
You got to start somewhere. So
yeah, I got to start somewhere. I'm going to tell her she don't believe in me. I can do it.
You can do it.
right? That's the start. That's where I got to start, right? Riding the bike
Riding the bike.
every day, and then
All of a
bluefin
sudden,
tuna.
and then you know what? What I would do is start riding the bike for the first week,
Uh-huh.
since you don't have that much time anyway.
Right.
And then the second week, just run to work.
No. That's not going to work. I can't run anymore, man. I get shin splints. All the, like, my shins will, like, on fire.
There's shoes for that nowadays, man.
Yeah.
Nice, comfortable type running shoes, you know? So,
All right. I'll see. First things first. Let's see how long the bike lasts.
yeah.
I don't know. You know what I love? You're talking about huge fish. My favorite fish to catch is a bonefish. Like the polar opposite, right? But it's such a challenge. And to me, that's like hunting on the water,
Yes.
you know, which is, you know, different kind of fishing.
Stalking the fish.
Stalking it.
Yeah.
I mean, when that line goes off, it's because those things are super fast. Like right across like that. To me, that's a rush too.
Well, have you fished Biscayne Bay for big bonefish?
No, but I want to with Joe.
Yes. That's the man.
Yeah,
That's the man.
I want to do it with Joe real bad. And then most of my bonefish, I mean, most of the bone fishing that I've done is in the Keys and then Marsh Harbor.
Well, I'll tell you what. My first time ever bone fishing was with Joe.
Right?
And I don't think I ever break that record again. My first fish with Joe is a 12-pound bonefish.
You should never fish for bonefish ever again.
Correct.
Just stop while you're ahead.
That's it.
That's the problem. So now every time I go out with him, it's like, what am I going to go? Maybe, you know. Well, he's been teaching me a little bit of fly. I'm not
Yeah.
a big fly guy.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, like anything else, the ultimate prize will be permit on fly.
Mm-hmm.
But he's the man in Biscayne Bay.
Yeah.
When he put me on that fish, it's like, oh, we got to go to Guatemala, baby.
Right.
You know? And actually, when he went to Guatemala,
He's been down there?
Yes. He
Yeah.
actually caught his first.
Did he go
selfish-
down for that billfish tournament the last
No, he
summer?
couldn't go. He couldn't go. It worked with, he just
Yeah.
had a lot of clients. But he did catch his first sailfish on fly.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he caught his first blue marlin there, not on fly, but there in Pacific Fence also.
Nice.
Yeah. So he was, we're going to try to do a brand video soon also. And he's going to be part of that whole fly fishing thing too. So,
Yeah, cool.
and he's the man.
Yeah, I've
Really
never
know.
caught a sail on fly.
Oh,
Yeah.
there-
I want to do that.
What better place to have that many shots than Guatemala?
Right.
you know?
Right.
So,
And I love catching bonefish. I mean, Adrian taught me how to fly fish.
oh, okay.
Right. So and he's the man. I mean, he's an excellent fly fisherman, excellent photographer, excellent artist. He's just
Yes,
got
he
a
is.
golden touch.
Yes, he is.
Very
Really
good-
humble.
Yeah,
Really humble
Yeah,
guy.
very good friend of both of ours.
Yeah.
You know, and he's just one of the best people in the world that I know.
Yeah.
I'm proud to share a birthday with him.
And the IGFA got to thank him a lot because
Yeah.
he's the man behind all that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. He's really a special person.
Yes, he is.
Anyway, I'm going to pause for a sec. That's Adrian Gray we're talking about, and he's on Instagram at Sportfish Gallery. Very popular follow on, and some of the most amazing photography that you've ever seen. But if anyone is unaware, they may know that, but they may not know what an amazing painter he is too. He's just a very creative individual.
Yes, he
And
is.
very smart, loving, humble person. One of my favorite people on the planet. But yeah, he taught me how to fly fish. Him and Regina,
Yes.
his girlfriend.
Yep.
And they both did when they took me out one day. I kept telling him, I'm like, yeah, I want to do it. I want to like for like a year or two. And he's like, well, let's go. Finally, took me out. I got a TFO fly rod and fly reel, and they took me out and picked it up fairly quickly. But as you know, it's like an ongoing education to yourself.
It's like golf.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like golf.
It's golf.
But yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I mean, I really would love to catch a sail on fly. I know it's a different ball game than going for bonefish and snook. But
It is. It is. One thing I can tell you is once you try billfish on fly, whether it's sailfish, marlin, that's another thing that I need to do after. Once you do catch a billfish on fly, you're hooked for life.
hook for life. Yeah.
You don't want to touch another conventional tackle again. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just incredible. I mean, the rush of. Let George explain to you what it was all about.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just to see the fish come to the teaser and for you to cast at that fish. And once he hooked up to that fly, it's again, I don't want to spoil all this for you.
No, don't spoil. You're getting me amped up, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
This guy right here is a I'm gonna call you master. Is it right? He's a master snook fisherman. And but do you fly fish too?
I haven't fly fished in a long time, but I used to when I was younger.
Yeah.
I need to get back into it.
Yes.
But yeah, when my dad lives down in the Cayman Islands, so I would always go down there and I'd fly fish for bonefish and stuff down there. And whenever I got a chance here, I'd go walk the beach for snook and stuff. But I haven't done it in a little while.
Yeah. So we talked about walking the beach this week, but I don't know if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
As the week wears, I don't know what I was saying.
It's blowing now anyway.
That's true. It is blowing outside right now, so it wouldn't have been worth it anyway. But I guess you got some baits running right now, so we were trying to take advantage of that. But
yeah,
because snook season is supposed to get better now here in next month or something, right?
Yeah. The mullet run is here.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bait running down right now. It's been a pretty good year so far. It started a little early, but I've been out there a few times, hooked a few tarpon already. Haven't landed one yet, but it's definitely going to be a good year, and we have about another month or so left, so we got some time.
Yeah, so maybe in the next week or two we'll get out there. I definitely want to get down to Biscayne and fish with Joe too.
Yes.
Yeah, we should do that.
Anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime. He called me, I think it was last week, and we're like, hey, Oz, let's just try to go out there, because when him and I go out, especially he works a lot, man. Mm-hmm. He's polling all day long with all these clients, and he just wants to just have fun.
You think about that, man, when you're a flats guide, and if you're really busy, the amount of polling you have to do.
You're
holy crap. I don't even think about that half the time, but you're
think
polling all day long.
You're getting beat up by the elements, the sun, the rain.
Yeah, you have no cover.
Correct.
Ugh. No cover.
How he does it, as another person, I don't know how he does it.
Hunting.
Correct. But and not only that, he just loves it. And one thing that once you fish with him, and this is what I tell anybody: if you get on a boat with somebody and they're not, and it's not like they yell at you if you do something wrong. Well, Joe calls it, yelling with you.
Right.
But it's if you don't see the captain or the mates really into it with you, it's like, you don't want to be with that person. Because sometimes people say, well, the captain was a little aggressive. No, sometimes, you know what? Because they want to make sure that you catch fish.
Yeah, they want you to convert.
Correct.
Yeah. I mean, this guy, all right, so when you get a guy like that up on the platform, first of all, he's seeing a heck of a lot more than you are for two reasons. Number one, he's higher, obviously. But number two, he's just more experienced than you are because he's out there every day. Mm-hmm. He may see a flicker or a wave of water or something, and you may not see that, first of all, because you're a lot lower on the bow. And second of all, your eyes are not trained like his are.
Correct.
Exactly.
So you got to listen to that guy that, in 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? You go 40 feet, go.
And you learn so much from these guys. The same thing is like going back to the 12-pound bone that I caught. Mm-hmm. I remember he's telling me, Ozzy, look, 12 o'clock. And I'm looking straight ahead. I kind of see a silhouette. I mean, it's like something dark. And it's like, Ozzy, now, cast over there. It's like, I look back and I'm like, Joe, it looks like a shark.
Yeah.
It's like, Ozzy, just cast, Sure enough. I mean, it was like a little kid afterwards, jumping up and down.
That must have been great. And 12-pound bonefish.
It was to see that fish take that much drag.
Yeah.
It's impressive. I mean, it's really impressive. And of course, like anything else is, of course, you get with the IGFA to send your certificate.
Right,
and then, Doug from King Selfish Mouse to do me a mount. I mean, it was incredible. Yeah. I mean, that's something that I don't think I'll break again. I mean, it's a behemoth of a...
That's a tough fish to match.
Correct.
Yeah, that's a tough one to match.
Especially the first time around. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But again, I go back to...
That was your first bone? Oh, that's right. That's right. You said that was your first bonefish.
First bonefish.
That's right.
Yeah. And now it's like, okay, cool. You catch an 8-pounder. You're like, oh, okay, well, Ozzy, you caught an 8-pounder, man. That's all. Yeah, well.
Yeah.
So, but again, you learn so much from these guys.
Mm-hmm. And that's especially for the area, too.
Yes.
Because in Marsh, I mean, we're catching some big, we're catching some big bonefish. Not like 12-pounders, but, some nice-sized bonefish in there. And just so my wife and I went over there. We had a pretty good day. One time we were catching over a dozen bonefish, in a half day, and it's just like, nothing to me is just like when you see everything out there, is because the bonefish aren't going to be where there's any noise or any kind of, static or,
Correct.
Hectic thing. It's going to always be in a peaceful setting. So like when you're in that peaceful setting and maybe you turn a corner around a mangrove or something, like you see the little silver flashes and man, it's just like so peaceful, and you throw your bait out, and then all of a sudden everything just bzzz, like goes crazy. Like you go from that peaceful to that chaos in like a split second. It's a beautiful thing.
And again, I go back to Biscayne Bay. That just backdrop of Miami. And of course, that's changed a lot throughout the years. Now you see more buildings than anything else. But you don't get the quantity of fish that you do in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
But you get the quality of fish.
Yeah.
I mean, majority of Biscayne fish they're up there, man. 5, 6 more. Sometimes even in the wintertime, you start getting them. That's when it's a great time for that. Those 8-pounders, 9-pounders, 10-pounders. But if it's somebody that will put you on the fish, that's Joe's the man.
Yeah.
Joe's the man.
Did you grow up in Miami?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. I came actually, I was born in Cuba. I came to the country.
You were born in Cuba?
Yeah. I came to the country in 1980 when I was like 6.5, 7 years old.
Wow.
Yeah. This, again.
Do you remember any of that?
Vaguely.
Yeah.
I don't, again, what I do remember is my grandfather actually instilling into me a lot of everything that has to do with ocean, and especially back in the day, you don't never think about ocean conservation, but I won't lie to you. I was thinking about it, back, you're talking about a gentleman that actually came from Cuba, commercial fisherman, lived in the coast, and to actually also think about the environment. That's unheard of. I mean, you know how it is, rape and pillage back in the day. I mean,
yeah.
So, but he was that type of individual.
Get what you get while you can.
Correct.
Yeah.
He was that type of individual, and he taught me a lot, and he's the one that actually brought me up and all that, and him and my dad, and I mean he raised me just that. I mean, just fish, and I mean we get to the point we were back in Sears. I don't even remember. Sears had a game fisher. So we bought a 10-foot aluminum game fisher with a 2.5 horsepower game fisher engine or whatever it was, and he would just throw it on top of his truck and just forget about no trailer, just back it up and a rope, and anywhere we will find like little mangrove areas, we just there you go, launch it right here, and like Cartown Road and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and we just go fishing. I mean, it was just that all the time.
So that's where you got your chops then.
Yeah,
like all throughout the Card Sound area and all the back country or the yeah.
I mean, we ventured out once in a while, and sometimes it just didn't happen because we ended up actually capsizing one year.
Really?
Yeah, a storm got us. We were just
You're kidding me.
dumb enough to use that 10-footer to go a little bit offshore, actually go beyond the reef when you're not supposed to.
Right.
You learn from your mistakes, of course.
Tell me about that. What happened?
Funny thing is, it was me and my dad. We actually rented a hotel. We were staying right in the outskirts of Isla Morada, and we went out fishing. It was him, me on that game fisher. Then he had his buddies with another boat, and we just ventured off. We were just there, just on the ocean side, ventured off, and we kept on. We were catching yellowtail and stuff like that. And we decided, let's go after maybe a little kingfish or something like that. We just venture off a little further off the reef. And a storm was coming from the west.
Oh, from the other side of the island.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, of course, like anything else, you're anchored off in a rope, and, and
you have no choice but to ride right into it.
Oh, my God. But the thing is, of course, you got a strong storm coming in from the west.
Yeah.
And you're being pushed out.
Yeah.
You can't go back, go to shore. And one of those is like, of course, like anything else, like literally like you see in a movie. Engine stops, it just bogs down because of the water.
Yeah.
And what do we do? We're there. And instead of, we actually did throw the anchor, but of course, like anything else, rope is not going to be long enough.
Right.
And so we can't hold on to anything, and we can't see our friends because we can't even literally see 10 feet in front of you because it's that bad. Funny, we never told this story to my grandfather because he would have freaked out.
Yeah.
So he would have told us, "You dumb whatever, this,
Yeah.
you should learn. I've been teaching you guys all these years, all this stuff, especially to my dad. I was a little younger, but
How old were you at this time? Do you remember?
I would say maybe 11, 12.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And I do remember exactly that my dad was saying, should we just jump? Well, we shouldn't, you should never leave your vessel no matter what,
Right, right.
so you learn, but that maybe that mentality of like, if we're going to keep on being dragged even further offshore, we can't see our friends, we're yelling. And one thing led to another, that the boat got capsized. We're on the water and we're yelling and trying to get under. So we're trying to swim for it. Big mistake.
Oh.
And so that's a time that I'll never, of course, like anything else, you don't forget stuff like that. You start drinking a lot of water, you start freaking out.
Right.
I'm thinking I'm going to drown, And sure enough, my dad actually literally puts his hand underneath my shirt to the back and holds my neck, like, so at least so my head won't go under. And we start seeing our friends as the storms start going out little by little. Our friends are getting closer to us, and sure enough, they get to us. And
thank God.
Yeah. And the guy tried to.
Who knows what would have happened if
Correct.
that? Oh,
Correct.
wow.
And the guy, I remember him grabbing onto me, and then his other buddy was grabbing onto my dad, and took us to the island, the first island we saw. This is still, we're still a little bit, beyond
One
the
of
reef.
those uninhabited ones?
Correct.
Yeah.
And of course, they have those corals that, like they call them, I forget what it is, really sharp,
Yeah,
the
like
coral.
fire corals?
Not fire corals
I know you're talking about, how the coasts are.
Correct,
Yeah, I know.
So it was
like
ripping
the tide
us.
pool corals.
Oh, yes, we're ripping us. We're bleeding, or we didn't have shoes on or anything. And sure enough, the storm passed. And what do we see in the distance?
A volleyball
No.
with a red handprint on it.
Almost. But we did see the boat actually anchored offshore.
Yeah,
It actually got his way in and anchored. That's where, of course, you never leave your boat.
right.
And it was just,
Did you get the boat back?
yeah, we got the boat back.
All right.
But it was just crazy.
Holy
yeah.
crap.
It's one of those that you're like, you see it in the movies. But it freaking did happen. It's like, but of course, that's something we never told my grandfather, because he would have,
Yeah, I don't blame you.
yeah. But, again, thanks to him, I'm what I am now. And, he's very passionate about the sport, about the environment, anything I could do to protect it. And it's because of him. It's
Yeah.
because of him. So.
You ever get back to Cuba?
No, actually, I've never been back to Cuba. One thing that I can tell you, the only way I go back to Cuba is when they say that I can use my American passport.
Right.
But, of course, me being that I left Cuba,
Yeah.
sort of the...
That's why I was asking.
yeah.
I was wondering how.
Sort of, they'll still see us as, traders or something like that. But the funny thing is, the people that used to tell that we're traders are actually here in this country now.
Yeah. Right.
Hitting amongst ourselves here. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I've never been back. Of course, I would love to fish. I mean, shoot.
That's another thing too. The fisheries are not completely untapped, but from a sport fishing perspective.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard inshore fishing is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Some offshore stuff. I mean, there's still people still do some long lining stuff, and they still catch one of those bluefin tunas. Marlin, of course, sailfish, and but nothing like you could say, well, it's open to the public and do whatever you want. No, I mean, it's just. But hopefully someday I could go back and actually say, at least see where I was born, and fish the waters.
Yeah. I watched that. Not to get too political or get too far into that whole thing. I watched that Cuba Libre that they had on Netflix, and it was like this long series they had on the whole evolution of that. That was a really good series on how that all went down, and it really gained. Like I thought I knew about Cuban history just because I was born and raised down here, but I really learned a lot like watching that, and it's tough stuff, man.
Yeah, I mean, like anything else. I mean, you led communist country. It's like, but you know what? I'm here.
You're here.
Thanks, to the United States, I'm here, and it's been, people. I mean, I call my dad a Cuban redneck because, I mean, he's all about this country.
Yeah,
what it has provided us and everything else. I mean, if you're in a conversation with him and you say anything bad about United States, oh, you're gonna hear it.
Yeah.
And he'll be the first person to tell you, you know what, one way ticket back. I'll even put you on first class.
That's what I always say that too, and a lot of people don't see that. I guess kind of like how you're saying, like a lot of people don't see how Guatemala really is unless you're there and everything like that. Well, I was born and raised down in South Florida. Like Cuban Americans, especially those that came from, Cuba and, are now down in Miami or so, some of the best Americans, like most patriotic Americans you can find, because they know what the transverse effect is.
Correct.
Like firsthand.
Yeah. And and again, not to get all political and stuff like that, but, people they don't understand what they have here.
Mm-hmm.
And
I agree with that a lot.
And one thing that I can tell you, and going back to Guatemala, and the little areas that you'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to really, how kids nowadays are all about the iPads, iPhones, and stuff like that. Their mind is somewhere else. But you know what? And then they complain if Wi-Fi signal's down or something like that. You know what? I'll tell you what. You grab some of these kids, just take them to Guatemala, and they'll be like, "Oh wow." Yeah, it's not.
Maybe I should bring the kids with.
A lot. You know what? Funny.
My wife will kill me. She's like, "No, that's us. That's ours."
A lot of our clients. You hear it. They say, "Oh, I need to bring my kids here."
Yeah.
So you got to know. So they could see how good they have it in the United States.
Yeah, I always say, like, I kind of laugh when people complain
about the most smallest things.
Yeah, about the smallest things. I'm like, first of all, if you're an American, you don't have problems, because you have opportunity like right in front of you every day of your life. And I know some people have it better than others. Some people are born into better situations than others. I get that. I'm not saying there's no truth to that, but you do have opportunity in front of you.
Do something about it.
Yeah, I mean, because there's some countries where that option isn't even there. Like, you don't even have, like, even if you say, you know what, I want to ditch my trendy pants and, I'm going to let push peer pressure to the side, and I'm not going to let my neighborhood get to me, and I'm going to go get a job, and I'm going to work hard, and I'm going to save my money. You can do that here. But other countries, it's not even an option.
Correct.
That's sad.
Yeah.
I think that people look at things like that. I don't know, man. Again, not to get too, I don't even think that's political. That's just,
correct.
That's just fact.
Yeah. Sometimes when you take a lot of stuff for granted, it's like, come on.
Right.
It's you're in the United States.
Mm-hmm.
What better place to be?
Yeah. You're gonna get me all choked up now. So, take me through a little bit about your history in this industry, and what I want to talk a little bit about you and what you bring to the table at Pacific Fins, because I think it's important to know that you're a difference maker there, and what you're bringing in its relationship, especially to the United States and Guatemala, and kind of building that bridge.
Well, long story short, like I was telling you, my grandfather instilled into me, the ways of the ocean, the ways of giving back. Go clean up. Like I've done a lot of stuff with also Biscayne Bay clean up, and Bainanza, you call it, and I've done a lot. Of course, like anything else, you do have your share of. It can't be all about fishing all the time. You got to give back.
Right.
And I've always been the type of person is like, what, if you have a 72 quart cooler, and I see it all the time when I'm in the dock, why have 40 dolphins inside that cooler?
Mm-hmm. Right.
What do you really need it? Because majority of the time when you're filleting a fish, you're not gonna fillet that many fish. You're gonna throw a lot of them away.
Yeah.
And majority of the time you put it, in the freezer. So there's so many people you could give food to.
Yeah.
So, in 2012, that's when I told you that INGUAT is the tourism board for Guatemala.
Mm-hmm.
That's when they invited me. I was there with a representative from Sport Fishing Magazine, I think Ocean Drive Magazine, I think it was, here, from Miami Beach.
The Miami one, yeah.
Canada. I forget what other publication it was, and myself. Well, funny thing is, that's the first time I ever met Niels Erickson, the owner of Pacific Fins now. We hit it off. Met this guy. You could tell he's something about him. He's a powerful man in the country. He's really, very professional, very professional person. And I met him, stuff like that. But we actually didn't speak about nothing else. Just we're speaking about stuff about Guatemala. The conservation that he's doing over there. All the great things are changing in the country. So I go back home, and about a couple of weeks pass by. I get a call from Guatemala Tourism. Hey, Ozzy, how you doing? We were happy, to have you here. We spoke amongst ourselves, and we're like, you know what? How would you like to represent the country in Guatemala in the sport fishing side of it?
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, sure, but I was there with there have been other people there too. It's like, wow, and, you made an impact with us. I think you're the right person for that. So that's why I started working with Guatemala for a little bit. Before I did anything, and I was still doing some stuff for the magazine, and then that's when Niels and I helped him out. He since day one he's very supportive of me. When I was the magazine, it's like I'll run an ad, and a lot of stuff. He was really helpful. And for me, loyalty means everything.
Sure.
Having each other's back, loyalty. That for me, it's you could call it the aqua mafia thing that we got going on, but
there's a level of trust there.
Yes.
And I think that's really important to kind of elaborate on that whole loyalty thing. It comes down to trust.
Correct.
And when you foster a relationship with someone, and then you do a good job with that person does a good job with you, that goes a long way. And after a while you do establish that trust, and you can rely on each other. It's an important thing. Yeah.
Again, I go back to since day one. He has been very supportive. I don't think he's ever told me the word no.
Mm-hmm.
To be honest with you, hey Niels, what do you think? Okay. Hey Niels, what? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's like now that we're partners, and in the business,
mm-hmm.
it's been. Like anything else, just we want to make sure that it gets to the next level.
Yeah.
Like any other, like any other business, and but he has been so loyal.
Mm-hmm.
He is what I call the ideal boss.
Yeah.
It's not like he's gonna step on your toes if we need to. He's like, what?
Let you do your job.
Correct.
Yeah, that's good.
And
it sounds like you guys have the right platform down there too,
yes.
to be able to elaborate on. You got the right ownership, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's a winning combination.
Yeah. And and to say, let's talk a little bit about Niels Eriksen, and you'll know more once you meet him,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll be great for him to be on a podcast too.
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
He is the backbone of whatever has happened with conservation in Guatemala.
Really? So he's on the forefront of that. He's leading
Correct.
that
Correct.
charge?
Yes.
That's cool.
Anybody could say, I do a little something here, but little something.
Mm-hmm.
With the little time this man has, he has completely put Guatemala on the map when it comes to conservation.
Mm-hmm.
He actually won, was it like 2 years ago, individual conservation award from the IGFA.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, we definitely have to have them.
Yeah.
That's what this podcast is all about.
Even,
having guys like that on.
Correct. Rob Kramer,
Mm-hmm.
previous president,
Mm-hmm.
he even says it. For what Guatemala is doing, everybody should do the same thing in all over the countries. In 2002, they acted into law the killing of any billfish. It's
Mm-hmm.
all now sport fish.
Mm-hmm.
You can't touch anything when it comes to that. Of course, you're gonna have your little
I remember
poaching.
when that. Yeah.
But again, I will let him say, explain to you more all the things he's done, but he is the man.
Wasn't there a thing recently? I don't know if it was Guatemala or Costa Rica though. About they busted some boat with like tons of billfish. Wasn't there something? I think it was last year or maybe earlier.
I don't know if
this
it's
year.
Guatemala. I don't know if it's Guatemala.
Maybe it might have been Costa Rica.
Maybe.
Actually.
You do get your poaching.
Yeah.
You
They
do
found
get
a whole hull full of billfish, like
Incredible.
illegally caught. Yeah.
Once you go down there, we'll show you, and we'll actually so you could listen to the people talk when it comes to all the people that we have the issues with poaching and stuff like that. These guys are the ones that are doing it. They actually get the fish, they fillet the fish, and then they put them on top of roofs so they could dry them out and salt. That's like having beef jerky of of sailfish, you know.
Yeah.
But I mean, who's gonna eat? I mean, there's people eat that stuff, but it's like no way. I mean, there's so much still resources. I mean, come on, you mahi, tuna, and stuff like that you could be, you know.
So that law is that pertaining only to tourism, or is that for
everybody?
That's for residents, local, everything.
Correct.
All right,
Okay.
so you can't. All right.
Yeah.
Because like, what is it here? We can harvest one sailfish.
Yeah, one sailfish.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's one
Yeah.
a year.
I think I'm not sure. I think it was 63 inches or something like that, or one, or then the marlin's another 90 something. I don't remember how many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
You know, it's good that, I mean, I'm a big proponent of conservation. You know, some things can go a little bit too far on it, but I think for the most part, like, I don't know if the American red snapper laws are necessarily the best, but like for one example about one going too far, you know, but for the most part, I think a lot of them are.
Yeah, we've had
doing positive
when I
job.
was in Got Her magazine, we've had quite a few articles on the red snapper. I mean, it's just another topic that I don't know.
Yeah. What's next for you? Like, where you going after this? I mean, you heading back down to Guatemala before you go to Prince Edward Island?
No, actually, no. I'm actually gonna, you know, well, we are gonna go to Prince Edward
We
Island.
before we are going to Prince Edward
Yeah.
Island.
And then I'll be going to Guatemala after that. Yeah.
And going to Guatemala. How long
Yeah.
are you usually down there for?
Depends, a week, and I think in December I'm gonna be there for 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah, because I have to host you, and I have to quite a few. There's some companies coming down. I got some guys from NASCAR right after the.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have actually. Funny thing is, I have Tad Boyd. He's the spotter for William Byron, number 24 for Hendrick Motorsports. He's going to be down there with friends.
Oh, very cool.
So right off, as soon as the championship there in Homestead is over, hop on a plane and head down there.
Nice. And when is you guys hold a billfish tournament every year?
April and May. So last year was, well, actually,
Is
this
it
year,
one
I'm sorry.
tournament you have down there?
No, we have quite a few tournaments, but the Guatemala Invitational,
Right.
Guatemala
That's the big one,
That's
though.
a big one, yeah.
Yeah.
The one that we have down there, it's going to be in May 2020. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then of course we change it up back and forth, you know, from April and I think next year. I'm sorry, it's in April. I gotta get you the dates on that.
You got a pretty good turnout for that one.
Yeah, we actually this year's was phenomenal.
I remember. All right. So I remember we were at George's house, and you're like, "Oh, you got to come down for this tournament." And I'd love to, but I couldn't. I had a family obligation that I could not get out of. George went down. Well, you had a pretty good Wade Boggs. Was there?
Warren Sapp.
Warren Sapp went
Warren
down.
Sapp, Scott Walker, Peter Miller. Then we had from the University of Miami, we had Dr. Nelson Earhart and Bruce Pohol. They're the guys that do the satellite tagging with us. Again, Wade Boggs, George, and then we had also I think Chef Terry French. He did the Food Network. I think I forgot the name of the competition he did. He won that. So it was a great turnout.
Yeah.
I mean, it got to the point that we just couldn't. We couldn't fit nobody else in the resort, so we had
So
to.
you went to capacity for that.
Correct, easy.
Wow.
And we sold out. you
Yeah.
know, and we had to stick people in all the places and get all their boats, and it was a great turnout.
Right, but you guys are expanding soon, hopefully.
That's you know,
I know, but I'm saying. I mean, I would think,
yeah,
because it's such a great place that you
Yeah.
want the rest of the world to enjoy it.
absolutely,
You
absolutely.
know.
But the funny thing you say that is, I still get clients
Uh-huh.
that want to come down and it's like, Ozzy, I want to go down there when there's nobody.
Right,
But it's gotten to the point now that it's not the case. Now it's gotten pretty popular.
right.
And it's like, Ozzy, you need to slow down with that.
Mm-hmm.
I want the place for ourselves, man. It's like, well, I can't do that. If you wanted
Yeah.
to pay for the other rooms, I got no problem with that.
Right.
So, but,
I want to take the little plane.
oh, that
I'm
is.
just as excited for that as like anything else.
I got a good one for you.
All right.
Guatemala Invitational.
Uh huh.
I'd say all. I think one group took the helicopter, and the majority of everybody else took the plane down. So we have a 6-passenger Cheyenne, turbo twin prop plane, really fast. That's the one that we have. But of course, like anything else, since we have so many people, we have to hire another plane.
Mm-hmm.
You could ask George Goss this. So George was supposed to go on this plane with Warren Sapp.
Mm-hmm.
And Warren Sapp is not a small person.
Correct.
So Warren Sapp got on the plane. He actually went to go sit back of the plane. Well, actually, the plane just tilted back completely. I mean, it was hilarious, man.
Yeah.
I just couldn't believe that. I mean,
you know what? He's one of the best linemen to ever play this game. Like he was like one of the most badass dudes ever to set foot on a football field. He's still one of the most badass dudes. I know him. I mean, he's a big guy.
Yes, he is.
Right?
Yes,
I wouldn't want to mess with him.
Ooh, no.
Yeah.
No.
No.
And now, like anything else, now you can see him like he's like a big teddy bear, I would say.
Yeah.
Warren, I'm not saying that,
cool.
but, you know, but he's also a great guy, man.
He's a good dude.
He is a really good dude. I mean, you can actually sit down with him and just talk about football, man. Just be just yourself and talk about football. I mean, he'll tell you straight up how it is.
Sure.
I mean, there is no, you know, cutting any corners here. No, he'll tell you black and white how it is.
Yeah.
And he has shared a lot of stories, and wow, man, it's crazy.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
I can't wait to get down there. You know,
soon, man. Soon.
Yeah, I know. Soon, couple months, we'll be down there. I want to go down. Man, I really regret not bringing rum on this because everything you talk about Guatemala, like the whole like podcast, I've been like laid back. Like, yeah, man, Guatemala, let's do it.
There's not gonna be no shortage of rum, I can tell you, in Guatemala.
Yeah, right on.
Yeah,
right on, man. Ozzy, I want to thank you for coming out today.
My pleasure.
You have a good time?
Awesome time. And thank you for having me here.
You gotta be kidding me, man. Connected by water. That's what's up. Right?
Thank you.
So, like my buddy Mike G says, your ego is not your amigo. Right? All you got to do is just do your best and let God do the rest. And always remember to eat, drink, and be local. Ozzy, we're connected by water, brother.
Thank you.